It's Nima Reality TV Show. Stay glued on your TV screens.
Shipping Trading Maritime Services Limited is a global maritime services provider with 11 physical branches all over West Africa. We provide services to ship owners and our customers in West Africa. Our head office is at number 27 Corporate Road, Apapa, Lagos, Nigeria. Our services are ship chandling, shipping agencies, husbandry services, underwater supply, bunker services, diesel supplies, and logistics. We're also members of the following organizations: IMPA, NIMASA, WCA, JC Trans, ISSA, Lloyd's Register, ISO, ShipServe, and IMO. For more information, please visit our website at www.kingshippingtrading.com or call the number 081-670-69828. King Shipping Trading Maritime Services Limited, we are the lead.
It's Nima Reality TV Show. Stay glued on your TV screen.
Tonight is the night for the speech and debate group. It will be the last night of presentation in the Labour House for year 2022. This group has a total of 11 members, but 4 out of these numbers are already out of the house through provision. And the remaining 7 will be flogging it out tonight in a bid to determine who will win the best speaker and debater award at the Labour finale. The topics are already known: 2 debate topics and 1 speech topic. The choice is yours. And so, if the house is ready, we call on the first presenter, William, to stand and take the floor now.
Thank you so much, Captain. Hello, everyone. Really, yes, I'm going to discuss on the topic: the dangers of divorce to the society. You might wonder, how will the breakup of 2 married people affect the society? Well, you might be amazed to find out. Divorce simply means the legal dissolution of marital union and the severing of marriage bond between a husband and a wife. I will briefly tell you the statistical rate of divorce in the country or in the world of today. In the world of today, the divorce rate is nothing less than 50%, and if not 50%, it is more than 50%. America being the 6th highest country ranking, being ranked as the highest divorce rate country of the world. Surprisingly, Nigeria is exceedingly uncommon in divorce rates, as just 0.3% of women and 0.2% of men are successfully untied the knot. But this should not be an excuse to the fact that the divorce rate in this country has gotten from bad to worse over the years. Why then do people get divorced? There are many reasons as to why people get divorced, ranging from less income, low education, premarital marriage, that's immature marriage, extramarital affairs, abuse, and so many others. How then does divorce affect society? Well, we all know that for a society to be called a society, we will have individuals living in that society, and these individuals will consist of the young and the old. Divorce today has caused so many damages to the society, one of which is consuming social and human capital, diminishing the child's future competence in all of the 5 society's major types or institutions such as family, religion, marketplace, government, and the school. It has also reduced social circle. For instance, a married couple, we all know that they will have friends who are also married. But when they get divorced, their married friends, their married couple friends will dissociate themselves from them, causing loneliness, which might set in anxiety and depression, because the broken couples will have to try to fit into the single life, and we all know the stigma that sticks to somebody who was once married, especially the women. You'll be hearing things like, this person has been married before, she don't marry before, he don't marry before. So this is one of the problems. We also have increasing crime, abuse and neglect, drug use, and increase in crime rates. We all know that a child who did not grow up with fatherly care cannot act like a child who did grow up with fatherly care. Let's take a look at the year 2000. Coming from the year 2000, we have 2 young adults. One grew up with moral support, financial support, educational support, economical support, while the other one did not have any of this support. You will agree with me that the former grew up with fatherly care, while the latter did not grow up with fatherly care. You would also agree with me that the former who grew up with fatherly care will be a productive citizen to the society, while the latter who did not might eventually become a problem to the society. Yes, right. So how then can we curb this problem? How can we reduce the divorce rate in the world today? We should try as much as possible to go for alternatives. Divorce should not be our first option. We can, instead of just deciding to separate, why not seek for professional or religious help, which especially for couples with children will help, because ending your marriage will not only do you harm, but will cause destructive or mental issues to your children, who in turn might become menace to the society. And I can remember that, or I was told that during the days of our forefathers, the only ground on which you can divorce your wife or your husband is on the ground of legally proving adultery. But today we see people who just have minor arguments and then they already get divorced, not even minding how it's going to affect their children. These children are being tossed around. This day they are going to the father, this day they are going to the mother. They don't know that this thing physically and mentally affects the children, which in turn make the children to be menace to their society in the nearest future. We can try as much as possible to build communications with our spouse and prevent premature marriage. Young people today, they just rush into marriage like it is a competition. Marriage is supposed to be something memorable and not something regrettable. Let us do our best to reduce the rate of divorce so that the increase in families can be more in society. And we all know that the bond in a family will lead to a stable home and will make children happy. Even the Bible says that on no ground should a man leave his wife except on the ground of adultery or death. And even if there is a way for you to still come back together, try as much as possible to make your marriage work, because it helps not just you, your children, and the society. So let us all try our best to make sure that divorce should not be our first option, but instead it should be our last option. And before I go, I am not saying that you should stay in an abusive marriage or abusive relationship, but I'm just saying that before considering the option of divorce, consider different alternatives before going into divorce. Thank you.
We're talking about divorce. So permit me, I'll be speaking more in pidgin English so that this matter will drive well into our minds. Make people understand, say, divorce no be joke. Wetin I talk? Divorce no be joke. I know that a lot of people would say, why is she speaking pidgin English? A lot of people are watching. So to make people understand that divorce is not an option at all, but first we should consider different alternatives to solving relationship issues, marital issues, before conceding to divorce. More than 50% of marriages and adults face this issue of divorce. The matter be say plenty people don't see say as their marriage no dey work or their relationship no dey work, na divorce be the only option wey they get. Shey we go settle for that kind of matter? No now. In the first place, why did they come together? Why did they decide to be together? That is one of the things to consider. In the United States of America, above 50% of the citizens there engage in marital activities. And this age we say now 50% of them they do am. So some people just decide say they don't want marry for reasons best known to them. And most of these people for America, now by age of 50, they will they marry. Shey it make sense? It no make sense now. Let's go on. Many couples have a decision to make before they actually get married. But first, wetin be divorce? Wetin be divorce? Divorce is a situation whereby a process whereby marriages are terminated or dissolved due to challenges best known to the peoples involved. There are different causes in divorce. Person fit just wake up for morning say you want divorce. No, e be say the matter don take ground, e don get foundation, and e don dey cause plenty problems. Some causes of divorce could include conflict, quarrel, misunderstanding, irretrievable broken homes. E be say some people go decide say, as I dey so, I just want divorce. No now, or wrong. So what people do is that they would have actually meditated on these things because they've had conflicts before that time. They would have thought about it that no, I think I just have to separate myself from this person. Another cause we say lack of commitment and infidelity. This is one major thing we say people no feel hold. Once one person just decides say I want misbehave, the next thing na divorce. No time to communicate, no time to ask questions or even rebuild the bond they had in the first place. Lack of physical intimacy. I'm sure say all of us will understand what that one mean, but let's not go too deep in that. There are different reasons why people divorce. Desertion. Sometimes both parties need commitment. Both parties need intimacy in communication. Most times people feel that talking to each other is not necessary. Auntie, uncle, brother, sister, mother and father, communication is key. Whether friendship or marriage or relationship or please talk to somebody. If you are going through a problem, air it out. This divorce get plenty effects and most of them are negative. On children, they can cause psychological disorder. Wetin I mean by psychological disorder? Children go dey think say, this one wey my mama no dey house, this one my papa no dey house. No love, no care, no sympathy, no compassion. The next thing, they start wanting this care and love outside. And before you know, they will involve into some kind of criminal activities wey they no supposed to do because papa and mama no dey to guide them. Also, for both parties involved in the marriage, husband go feel say, as my wife no care, make me sef go my separate ways. As the woman no care, make me sef go my separate ways. But the truth be say, a three-stranded cord can never be broken. The strongest shape in the world is what? A triangle. From the head to both sides, it can never be broken. So the thing is that whenever we think of divorce, make we first consider all other alternatives before we do what? Resolve to divorce. A legal condition for divorce is that the only reason wey we say you go divorce, say na the matter don reach heights wey be say you no fit solve am, and one major reason na adultery. If you know say you ready to divorce, make e be say na adultery go make you say okay I don go. Sometimes too domestic violence fit cause this kind of thing. If man dey beat you or your woman dey abuse you, wetin you go do? First of all, why don't go for legal separation? Legal separation after 6 months, make una try reconcile. And if you know say you no fit work, then you will consider to divorce. But first of all, make una come together, get an attorney, get a mediator, where we say go bring una together, go make sure say auntie, uncle, mama, papa, air your mind. Why we say this marriage no fit work again? Then if una don talk after 6 months, you know what? Then you can resort to divorce. Dangers we say emotionally, una don destabilize una family. Psychologically, una don get problem. Una children go dey involve criminal activities. Those wey go dey carry drugs go dey carry drugs. A lot of even prostitution because no love, no care. In a nutshell, there are better ways to resolve marriages. Marital issue. If you know say you get problem, abeg talk to somebody. Attorneys dey wey you fit talk to. Counselors dey wey you fit talk to. Air out your problems because lack of communication na dey kill many people. I hope say I don make una understand say on top the matter, divorce no be the last and the best option. Thank you.
It's Nima Reality TV Show. Stay glued on your TV screen.
King Shipping Trading Maritime Services Limited is a global maritime services provider with 11 physical branches all over West Africa. We provide services to ship owners and our customers in West Africa. Our head office is at number 27 Corporate Road, Apapa, Lagos, Nigeria. Our services are ship chandling, shipping agencies, husbandry services, underwater supply, bunker services, diesel supplies, and logistics. We're also members of the following organizations: IMPA, NIMASA, WCA, JC Trans, ISSA, Lloyd's Register, ISO, ShipServe, and IMO. For more information, please visit our website at www.kingshippingtrading.com or call the number 081-670-69828. King Shipping Trading Maritime Services Limited, we are the lead.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Errol.
I'm here to support the motion that state policing is the solution to Nigeria's insecurity problem. First off, state police are people set aside by the government to tackle insecurity issues. Now, no state or no society can operate without state police because it will be difficult for them based on the fact that they will have to face challenges and insecurities. Now, let's say you build a company and you don't have security guard. You definitely have insecurities, you definitely face criminalities in the company. So, if you don't have this in your company, what talk more of the society? Now let's use Nigeria for instance. We don't have, actually right now we're facing insecurities. So, and we presently have state police. Now what if we don't have these people? How do we think the country or the society is going to look like? We actually need a special set of people to actually to carry out the activities of watchdog in the states. Now, a few years ago, we had an issue of NSAS, whereby the state police and some special agencies in the government were actually protested against. Some group of Nigerians came out and protested against these people. And after that event, Nigeria, some communities recorded a high rate of criminal activities because those police, they actually stepped down, they went aside, and we had no police activities in most communities. And we recorded a high number of criminal activities in the states, and which, when they came back to power, the criminal activities reduced. Now, yes, we know that there are bad eggs in the government. Instead of actually saying we don't need state police, we should urge the government to actually set aside some special agencies to check these people. So when they are going out of place, these agencies will actually draw them back. And then we'll have, by that way, we Nigerians will realize their importance in the country instead of actually kicking against them. Because without them, you can't walk around at night. Without the state police, you can't do some things we mostly do. Whereby we go clubbing, we have fun, and most of us come back very late at night. We can't carry out most of these activities. So if we're saying it is not the solution, then what is? Are you going to come out and start protecting yourself? None of us can do that on our own. So I urge us to please think about it. And if we have issues with this state police, we can talk to our government by telling them to actually provide us with agencies to check this police, to check the agencies, instead of actually saying we don't need them. So I hope with these few points of mine, I'll be able to enlighten you more that state policing is the solution to Nigeria's problem. Thank you.
My name is Wilson, and I would like to talk about danger of divorce in our society. Actually, my co-presenter have already said it, so I will still say mine. So, what is divorce? What do you mean by divorce? Divorce simply means to dissolve a marriage between a spouse, either by judgment or decree of divorce. Divorce has brought about the death of a union. So, therefore, divorce can also bring the death of a life, death of a dream, death of a promise, and death of a family unit. And some children who are involved in this kind of situation will likely experience severe grief of losing or of being with their family or with their parents, with their parents living together under the same roof. So let me quickly go into the effects of danger of divorce. What are the effects of danger in divorce? What are dangers in divorce today? So we have decreased level of happiness. So in homes, if we have divorce, there won't be a happy home in each and every one of our house. And the satisfaction of sexual life, that is one. Low rates of childbearing, that is another one. We have another one which is volatility in relationship. So let me quickly talk about the Bible. In the Bible, it is stated that a marriage is a permanent, not a temporary one. It's a permanent institution created by God between man and woman. And it's also in the Bible which says, for a man to leave his wife to go for another woman is a sin of adultery. And we all know adultery is a great sin before God and man. So let me quickly move on to the solution of the marriage, of the divorce, to save our life, or the life of our parents, or the life of our spouse today. One, we have accept your partner's feelings. So when you accept your partner's feelings, not to let their own feelings, not to let it go. If they bring their own feelings to you, what they think is happening to them, and you let them decide, that would make them be thinking otherwise, that you don't have their time. You don't really need them. They will be thinking you don't really need them in their spine beside them. So that is one. The second one is validate your partner's feeling. When you validate your partner's feeling, they will feel important. They will feel that okay, you have their time, you are with them, whenever they need support, you are there with all what they need. The third one is shut down your reactive brain. When you shut down your reactive brain, we all know that there is a nerve in us that triggers anger whenever we are in distress. So by then you calm yourself down, you think on what you do, not to. Sometimes you can leave your spouse behind and think on yourself. Calm yourself down, and then you can go and meet her or him again. So the third one is retreat. The fourth one is retreat, which means you don't beg, no drama, no feelings. Sometimes you let her go. Sometimes you just feel like you leave the house for him or her, just for you to calm yourself down, just for you to let everything die down. Then you can later come back and do your normal thing. So the next one is get to work on yourself. If you get to work on yourself, check yourself. What is wrong with me? What is the issue? What is happening? Before you even think of getting angry, think about yourself first. What I want to get angry on, does it worth it? Do I need to get angry on it? That is one. Re-establish contact. Focus on positive interaction. Don't bring any negative interaction that can even shift him or her away from you. So there are some interaction that can bring anger. There are some interaction that can venture in your life in a positive way. So I think we should be doing that to our spouse. The next one is making a new rules. Not the rules that you make and the other party feel like this one is just benefiting you, this one is not benefiting me, and then there will be grudges between each other. The next one is observe what happens. If you are in a house and you cannot observe what is going on within you, that means you yourself you have a problem. So you have to be observant of what is happening around you, with your children, your wife, anybody around you within your house. So that is one. The next one is understanding and tolerate each other. If you understand your spouse, there will not be any grudges within you. There will not be any issues within the family. So the last one is communication, as my co-presenter have said. Communication is the key. If you have a low communication within each other, I think that is the best way to save your relationship. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone. Hello. As you can all see, my name is Faith. When I received this topic, it took me back to a story of a young guy who actually is a victim of this. And I'm actually going to be talking on the dangers of divorce in society. This is how the story goes. There was this young guy, the dad and the mother, they got married together. And after a while, without childbearing, the mother, finally, after 4 to 5 years, the Lord actually had to bless them with a child. And you know, children are blessings from God. Now I wonder why a woman, after bearing, conceiving and giving birth to a child, will have to leave a marriage. Now, after this, after some kind of counseling, going to the attorney, the woman still had the mindset that she wants to be divorced to the husband. Why? Now, she eventually signed the divorce paper and they went their separate ways. Now, I believe that mothers really have this deep love for their children. But in a situation like this, what would be the reason why this woman had to leave her marriage even after conceiving a child? Now, she forgot I believe that maybe there might have been some certain things that happened in the home, but we do not know. But the story that was told was that the woman left her home without any reason. Now, after a while, the child started growing, and it got to a point whereby there were a lot of things that happened. So the dad had to employ a housemaid into the house. Now, after employing this housemaid into the house, this was what happened. According to the boy, the story was given because it got to a point that he was regretting so many mistakes he had made in his life. He said that when the dad employed the housemaid, what the housemaid does was a female housemaid. What the housemaid does was to be teaching the child what to be doing, like at a tender age. When a child urinates, you know, you have to, if the mother was there, though the dad is a worker, the mom is also a worker. But if the both parents were there, maybe the father goes to work and the mother is at home, she will be able to look after the child, isn't it? But the mother wasn't there and the father was out there hustling and he could not stay in the house to watch over the child. He had to bring him a maid to take care of the child. Now after a while, the maid started teaching this child some things that it's so unfair, it's so unnice for that at that tender age. Now with that, the child grew into that. It turned the child into a sex addict, a drug addict, because now the mom wasn't there. Now these are the things the maid was teaching this child at that tender age. And we believe that anything a child starts at a tender age to learn, it grows with that child. Even at a point whereby the child wants to leave, wants to change from that, this is what the child was born to see and this is what he has grown with. So these were the effects of the divorce between their parent to that young innocent child. Now, at the age of 34, he realized that there are some things he shouldn't do. He should sit up, get married. But because of that, he was addicted to sex, addicted to different women. He can't settle with one woman. And he was also addicted to drugs. He can't stay a day without drugs. He was addicted to so many things. Now the mother is out there, not knowing, not even having in mind if my child is living well or not. She believed that whatever happened, I'll take for example myself. There are so many things that happen in my home between my mom and my dad. But there's one thing we call understanding. And also that child love. Some mothers will have reasons to leave their marriages, but because of the love they have for their children, it will keep them. So these are the dangers we endanger our children into.
Now, I'd like to leave us with a thought. I know that my time is up, but I'd like to leave you with a thought by one of the presidents of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I quote, he said, "Two individuals approaching the marriage altar must realize that to attain the happy marriage which they hope for, they must know that marriage therefore means sacrifice, sharing, and even a reduction of some personal liberties." Now, in conclusion, I speak briefly to those contemplating marriage. The best way to avoid divorce from an unfaithful, abusive, or unsupportive spouse is to avoid marriage to such a person. Thank you very much.
It's Nima Reality TV Show. Stay glued on your TV screen.
Today I'll be talking on divorce. The topic is dangers of divorce in our society. First of all, I'd like to ask you, is divorce a good development or phenomenon in our society? No. For me, it would be a no and it would be a yes. When divorce happens from reasons due to domestic violence, death threats, and maybe emotional trauma from either partners, it will be a good phenomenon. But when it just happens out of the blue, like no cause, little arguments, and they're divorced, then probably it will be a no. So I'd like to tackle or tell you what divorce is. Divorce is the legal dissolution of a marriage by a court or other competent body. To divorce means to separate or to dissociate something from something else, typically with an undesirable effect. For short, divorce can just be you have the man, you have the woman, they are in a marital union, and in the long run, something happened and they separated. I believe a layman understands that. Looking at the society for short is just a community. It could be a town, a city, a country, or the nation at large. To define a society, it is the aggregate of people living together in a more or less ordered community. Going to the causes of divorce in our society today, one of it is domestic violence or death threats, as I said earlier, from either of the spouse, financial setback, mostly from the husband, when the wife can no longer bear the poverty in the family, infidelity or adultery. We also have lack of communication and early marriage sometimes. When people that are not prepared for marriage go into marriage, there is every tendency that they get divorced so easily. When parents divorce, their children are affected in significant ways. Many of the consequences of marital dissolutions or divorce may adversely affect the children's success in their future romantic relationship, or we call it their marriage. But fortunately, this can be mitigated or curbed through deliberate parental efforts. What this means is that parents should make conscious efforts to hold their marriage together. No matter the issue, no matter what is going on, they should try as much as possible to hold their marriage together. Audience, please, I would like you to respond to this. In a society like Nigeria, or Naija as we call it, you would agree with me that in recent times, divorce has become a new normal where weddings last 2 weeks. After weddings, you see cases where marriages break up after a month. When spouse go into divorce, the husband tends to love alcohol Alcohol becomes his best friend. He stays indoors, takes alcohol, does not want to associate with anybody. For the wife, she tends not to want to accept new marriage proposals from the trauma she's still feeling from the past marriage. Other dangers of divorce in the society are environmental influence of divorce on the child. The child most times finds himself on the street, and when he mixes with bad peer pressure, he's liable to join cult groups, he's liable to involve himself in criminal activities and even do drugs. These are some of the effects of divorce in the society. Children of divorce are more likely to experience poverty, educational failure, early and risky sexual activity, non-marital childbirth, earlier marriage, marital discord, and even divorce itself, because it's like an inheritance. I'll call it heredity, because a child has experienced divorce and to him it could be a normal thing. And when he goes into his own marriage, he tends to also divorce his partner. In fact, emotional problems associated with divorce actually increase for the child during young adulthood. So all this in essence is, okay, let's look at it from this aspect. A child finds himself on the street. He tends to cater for himself, put food on his own table, give himself clothing and shelter. So all this, coupled with emotional trauma, will make the child's future not even certain. So I'll just make a plea to parents of these days, in whatever we do, before getting a divorce or separating, please let always consider the child, because be that as it may, the child is at the center of it all. The child is mostly affected. So I'll round up on this note. Solutions to divorce in our society may be that the parents should make conscious efforts to hold their marriage together. That is one. Communication is very key. Communication and intimacy between both partners is very key. Then youth nowadays should also not rush into marriage. Please, youth should not rush into marriage, because when you rush into something, there's every tendency that you also rush out. Another thing is, every spouse and parent should please again try everything and everything possible to hold the marriage together. So on this note, I would like to say thanks for your time. Thanks for listening.